begin. Today we're going to do shattered glass, and that's basically the finish that we're going to get. We're working with different colour cardstock today, so this is just a card I did a few weeks ago. Now I've pre-done a little bit and I'm going to show you how to do it because it is quite time consuming. I usually work with an A5 piece of cardstock, and what we're using is the low tack tape. Now as you can see, I've already started to put the tape on, and so I've put up the centerpiece, all the edges around. Now you can see on the edges I've used the edge of the tape to go down the edge of the cardstock because it does have to be a straight edge. On the centerpiece we don't want a straight edge, so when we're tearing the tape, I'm actually tearing the tape into 3 pieces so that I've got the uneven centerpiece and then my 2 edge pieces, and the same for the top and the bottom, and then we want uneven pieces in through the center. So I'll just show you what we're doing. I've left it blank at this end so I can show you what we're doing. I want to make sure the tape is going to go from edge to edge if possible. Now I've already done the edge piece here, so I'm going to have to tear my tape so that I've actually got an uneven edge on 2 sides. So with the tape, just holding it firmly, you don't want to have a perfectly straight piece as you go, so don't be worried if it tears with little jagged edges and things. That is actually what will give character to this particular technique that we're doing. So I'm throwing away that piece. Now as you can see, I've got an uneven edge already. Now I need to use that, so I want another uneven edge. I'm going to pop this one in here just over the top of what else I've got there, and just pop it in there. And we need to do one more piece. Pop this through here into the center, and that's pretty good like that. Now for my Lumieres, I'm going to start with the white, and I'm going to put, I work out of the lid of my Lumieres, and then I'm going to go with the bronze or the antique gold, and after that I'll put on a little bit of rust, and we'll finish off with the pink. And just with the piece of foam, I'm going to pick up, holding that so that it's a nice rounded finish. You don't want the sharp edges if you can avoid it. Dip it into there, and I'm just going to work on one square at a time, and I'm just going to dab until I get the colour in however you want it. You can smush it if you want to, you can dab it. If you dab it, you'll get a little bit thicker. If you smush it, you'll get more of just a bit of a sheen to the card. I've got it darker in some places. As you can see, there we go, we've got that colour already on there. I'm now going to work with my bronze, and again I'm going to end up, as we layer this colour on, we're going to choose as we go where do we want more of one colour than another. So with the bronze, I'm actually not going over the white on all of the area, only like so. I've just left a little bit here and a little bit at the top where you can see the white more than you can see the bronze. Now I'm going to the copper, and I'm actually going to work my way with the copper almost over the whole lot, and not adding any more paint to my sponge. I'm just going to let it work its way off there, so you can still see a little bit of the copper through there, you can still see a little bit of the white, and you can see more of the bronze than anything else. And I do want the pink to be the dominant colour here, so I'm going to put the pink over and just allow it to just sort of bleed through the rest of the colours. And that's basically what we're going to finish up with. Now if you wanted to, you could go back and add more of the other colours wherever you wanted to highlight, but I'm quite happy with that. So what I've done with the sheet over here, as you can see, I've done the entire sheet with the colours on there, alright, and that one's ready to go. So I'll pop aside the one that we've just started working with. As you can see, as I said, we've got this one ready to go, so I'm using my StazOn jet black ink pad. Now I'm just going to stamp a 3. I'm going to show you how to cut these out, but it is a bit time consuming, so we're then going to go over to some that I've already cut, but I do want to show you each step so that you can do this yourself. I'm just inking up my stamp really well with the StazOn. Doesn't matter if it doesn't all fit into the square. If it stamps onto a little bit of the tape, that's great, because you do want that finished look that just gives it its own character on each shape. So I'm just going to stamp the flowers straight down in the center, pressing firmly and lifting up. The next one that I'll use is a butterfly. So I want to make sure that it is inked up really well on the face, and I'm going to stamp the butterfly down in the center, pressing firmly and lifting up. It does feel sticky as you're pulling it up because you are working with a solvent ink pad and it's on the paint that's dried, so it does tend to. Now I'm working with a little pot here, and the pot's a little bit larger than the area that I'm going to stamp it into, so it is going to go over. So I'm going to put it a little bit more on a diagonal just to give it a little bit of character when we actually mount it onto the card, pressing firmly and lifting up. And I'm just gently going to peel this end of the tape just so that I can show you how to cut out your images ready to use, and very, very gently, just as you can see, holding that and sort of pulling the tape at the same time as I'm peeling it. And depending where you've started, you're going to have to, because it's overlapping, so I need to just bring that, turn that around so you can see what I'm doing, holding my finger firmly on the card. I only want to go to here because I haven't stamped the rest of it yet, so I'm just going to tear that off, and that piece of tape can now be discarded. And I want to peel this off all the way through here. That one's gone. Just, it's caught there with the paint. Sometimes the paint holds it down a little bit, so you just need to work it a little bit just so that you've actually got control of that tape. Pulling that up there like that, and again I'm just going to snip that because I don't want to take it any further back because we haven't stamped the rest of that cardstock. So what I'm actually going to do is just show you quickly how I cut these out ready for use. So I'm just going to cut just a square. I'm just going to cut one out. Now normally, again, as I say, I would be cutting all of them out and then going back and just, I sit there while I'm watching TV and trim them. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to trim however many millimeters you'd like to. I do it relatively close and follow the design, if you please, of where the actual paint is, because that is what gives this the character. So I'm just cutting reasonably close, as you can see, and just sort of following all the notches and stuff from where the paint has settled into that low tack tape. So as you can see, I'm just using really sharp, try to use scissors that don't get used for anything else, paper scissors that you keep especially for your craft stuff. I'm really particular about my scissors, and if anyone touches them then they have got a lot to answer for. And that image now, all trimmed around the edge, is ready just to apply to a card. So I'm going to get 3 that I've done previously, rather than taking all the time now and cutting out when you can see very clearly what we've had to do. I'm going to pop those aside, and I'm going to get 3 images that I had done exactly the same way previously. As you can see, slightly different color paints that I've used for those ones, but we're going to pop those and onto I'm going to pop them straight onto a black card. Now I like working black on black. For this particular, it just seems to highlight the actual technique a little bit better. If you want to, you can do something else just to highlight it. It's entirely up to you, but I'm just going to pop it onto the card, place it there, have a little play with it and see where you think you would like it. And I think that's sort of, I really like that. I actually like the design of the flower in the center, so I might just change that a little bit. But I'm using mounting tape. You can use just regular flat double-sided tape if you want to, if that's your preference. I tend to feel that sometimes adding a little bit of height can make it really nice and just finish it off a little bit better. And so that's actually how I'm going to mount the top one and the bottom one with the foam mounting tape, and the center one I'm actually going to put flat onto the card. So I'm just going to, using my eye and what I feel comfortable with, I'm just going to get that on there exactly where I want it. I'm going to use the regular double-sided tape, as I said, for the centerpiece. And I'm going to put this one, where do we think we need this one? About there. So it's on there also. And once again, mounting tape onto this one. And just positioning that one exactly where I want that one as well. And they're all pressed on there really, really well. And there you have it.